See how the boxes now? My son goes outside.
Okay. Dog daily Gemara. We're starting Zion Amar Aleph. Towards the top. Amar Rav Shmuel Bar Yehuda. So we're going to have a conversation at the Esther. Over here we're going to discuss whether there's whether because Esther has kedusha or not, and in what context it was written. It was written. It had to be written or just stam. Stam. It was like a divrei yam kind of thing. Amar Rav Shmuel Bar Yehuda. Shalchalem Esther lechachamim kivuni l'dairis. Make me write in the books for Darius. Let's make this a yamtiv, make this a whole zeicha for the Darius. Shachal, they sent her kina at Ma'areres Leveina Umas. You're going to make kina. All the other nations are going to be jealous. Why? Because we wrote how we're going to write at the end how we wiped them out and we retaliated and we chapped them and we did a big patch to them. Shachal, she sent back to them. They already wrote about it in the history books, so it's already there. So at least let's get our version out. Let's have something that we could celebrate. Rav Chanina, Rav Yochanan, Rav Chaviva Masnu. These four Amoraim, they learned the following, and we're gonna make an adjustment. But Kul Seder Moed, in the whole Seder Moed, Kol Kihai Zuga. Whenever you see this group of Rav Chanina, Rav Yochanan, and Rav Chaviva, Chalufe, Rav Yochanan, Umayel, Rav Yonason. So take out Rav Yonason, take Rav Yochanan, and put him Rav Yonason. So it's Rav Chanina, Rav Yonason, Rav Chaviva. They learned the following. Sochalam Esther Lechacham, Hizvuni L'Dairis. He said the same conversation. Write for me L'Dairis. In other words, make a Megillas Esther. Shalchala, they sent her Halei Kesavti. It says in the pasuk in Mishlei, Halei Kesavti L'Chal Shleishim. Shalishim. You should write it for you 3 times, referring to Zechir Samalek. So we Shlishim v'lo Ravim. It's that we should write it 3 times as Zechir Samalek and not 4 times. So you're going to write Megillas Esther is going to be another Mechia Samalek a 4th time. Ad Shematzu Lai Bikra Kasav B'Torah. Until we found this pasuk in the Torah, it says in Shemais when it's talking about Mechama Samalek, K'soiv Zayis Yikarim B'Sefer. It says you should write this, and as Zikaron B'Sefer. So K'soiv Zayis Mashakasav Kan U'Mishatayra. Over here, K'soiv Zayis means in what we wrote just now in Shemais and in Mishatayra in Devarim. Now, a lot of times Devarim is not counted as its own chumash because it's really just a lot of it is repetition on the rest of the Torah. So a lot of times you have if it's repeated, it's not considered that it's repeated twice. It comes out at different times throughout Shas, but this is one of them. So it's written once. No, it's the one from Torah because it's Shmais and Devarim. Zikarim Mashachas V'Neviim. You should in Neviim, where exactly in Neviim is it written? I'm not sure. Rashi probably says. Rashi does it. Where
Shmuel.
And Shmuel, where do you see it or?
Rashi Shlishim.
Oh, okay, fine. Let's get that one. Okay, fine. Fine. We say for Shmuel, fine. And then Mashachas B'Sefer. I'm sorry. Mashachas B'Sefer, Mashachas B'Megillah. So that would be a Pesach to have another ksiva in Megillah. It says Shlishim, but it's not Shlishim. It's not only 3 times. It's Torah Nevi'im and Ksuvim. Tonight, so we're going to see if the following Machlekes explains how this pasuk is dashed. So this Machlekes that we had in the conversation between Rav Shmuel Bar Yehuda and the other Chavra that learned the conversation. One, right? There's 2 different ways they learned it. So they're going to have it's going to stem according to the following Machlekes.
It states that it's 3. It's just that whatever says in the Torah is considered 1.
Right. So we're going to see a different way of learning. So tonight. It's like it's machlekes anam because ksayv zayis mashakasav kan zikar mashakasav b'mishatayra b'sefer mashakasav b'neviim. The Tanna Kama says that zayis is in Shemais, zikaron is in Devarim. They split it up, and b'sefer is in Neviim in Shmuel. Livi Rabbi Shua. Rabbi Lazar Amedari Amar ksayv zayis mashakasav kan b'mishatayra because zikaron mashakasav b'neviim b'sefer mashakasav b'Megillah. The way we just learned, and I think it's the machlekes earlier. Because you see, when the I think tonight means the earlier machlekes that we had that Shalcha Lahem Esther Lacham Kavun in the Dairis and what their response was. right? So according to the first response, it's like Rabbi Shua that he doesn't have a way of writing it a third time, and it's not really. What? Chacham, what do you mean?
She went like the she held like the second shoot. She held like.
Right, but no, but I think even in that conversation, I don't know if the end of the day they're arguing. So Amar Rabbi Yehuda, Amar Shmuel, Esther ein metamas yadayim. We know that the cloth of Svarim, Sefer Torah, are metamas yadayim. It's a gzeira because this you shouldn't put trumas next to the Sefer Torah. That's what they used to do. And then the achbarim, the rats or the mice come, they eat the bagels and they eat the cloth. So they made a gzeira. If you touch a cloth, your hands in matama, so you wouldn't touch truma. That was the gzeira. But we want to know. We want to know if Esther has that level of kedusha. So Yehuda Shmuel says not. Remember the Sava Shmuel Esther labroch chadish nama. You can say that Shmuel holds that it was not written Baruch Chadish. Amar Shmuel Esther Baruch Chadish nama. Esther was written Baruch Chadish nama. When it says so, and for the Gemara it says Nema likreis v'lo Nema lichtay. It was written. It was said over Baruch Chadish, but it wasn't said over to be written down. It didn't have to be written down. The ksav was just a zecher, but the ikr giving over that was done Baruch Chadish. But there was no chiyuv to write it over, so the sefer doesn't have Baruch Chadish. It's not a steer. The Gemara is saying. The Gemara's kasha is. If you hold that it does not matam it must be hold it Baruch Chadish. But you say no, I hold that it's Baruch Chadish, but there's no mitzvah to write it down, so the sefer doesn't have the kedusha. Meisif at the Gemara of Meir Omer Kahelis ein matam says daim umachlekes b'shir shirim. Kahelis is not matam daim, but it's a machlekes of shir shirim. So Yesi Amar shir shirim matam is daim machlekes b'kahelis. But shir shirim is matam daim, and the machlekes is if it was kahelis is matam daim. Abshim Omer Kahelis mikulei. Kahelis is one of these things that Bisham is making, and Basil is machma. Avol Rus v'shir shirim v'estim metamis daim. But everybody holds that Rus shir shirim and Esther metamis daim. And the Gemara who the Amar Rabbi Shua, so that would be like Rabbi Shua, because Rabbi Shua that says that you have he learned that Ksayv Zayis is. I'm sorry, he holds that what? He holds Ksayv is. Ksayv Zayis is here is Shmais and Dvarim. Zikaron is Nevi'im and the Sefer is in Ksuvim. So you have a real a lima from the pasuk to write over Esther. Tanya. Kahelis is not metamis daim. The Nevuah is chachmas, his eitzes. That's the only thing he said. He said a lot more. So the fact that he only wrote down this is a right that this is something special. I like for Nemar, Shlomo Melech was able to give 3,000 mishalim. In one Indian, he gave 3,000 mishalim, and only at the last mashal you'd be able to go back until you got to mamish the Indian itself.
And each mashal was explaining.
It was explaining the previous mashal, so he had what to say. It's not the Kahelis wasn't the only thing that he said. Don't be marba on the words referring to Kahelis. Don't be marba. So if you see that he says don't be marba, that means that when I wrote in Kahelis is dafka. What's the reba? You don't just say that Vayda b'shleish zolafim mashal is enough to know that I already wrote a lot, and in fact I only wrote Kahelis. I already said a lot. In fact, I only wrote Kahelis. It means that was something that's Davish Kedusha. So what do I come to be marba? What's the extra? The oimer atayis don't add. Right? What's the chiddush? What are you adding by saying atayis dvar? If you're going to say that, he had a lot to say. He had 3,000 mishalim to say. Whatever he was in the mood of writing, he wrote. Whatever he wasn't in the mood of writing, he didn't write. He picked his favorite shtick of Torah and he wrote it down.
But it's not from a
But it's not dafka. It's not from a shtick, right? I'm telling you, don't be marba. That's already an Indian. You see that's coming. That's the Davish Kedusha. That Kahelis, what I wrote in Kahelis is dafka, and that's how you see that
it doesn't answer the question.
The more does. I'm saying the more comes out. Not like Shem Manasseh. It's not a whatever. It's yeah. Okay, now the next sticker we're going to start. We're going to do tomorrow. Is going to bring a bunch of right from where you know that Esther is written Baruch Chodesh. We'll see you tomorrow morning. But Ezra Hashem.